And finally, we have Dr. Vikesh Tripathi, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. May I invite Dr. Vikesh Tripathi to address the gathering.
Thank you, sir. अभिवादनशीलस्य नित्यं वृद्ध्योपसेविनः चत्वारि तस्य वर्धन्ते आयुर्विद्या यशोबलम्. इस आयुर्विद्या यश और बल की प्राप्ति होती काशी हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय के संस्थापक परम श्रद्धेय स्वर्गीय महामना मदन मोहन मालवीय की महान आत्मा को प्रणाम करते हुए इस काशी में आयोजित विद्वत सभा में, इस सभागार में उपस्थित शिव तत्व विराजमान सभी पुरुष जनों को और शक्ति स्वरूपा मात्र शक्ति को मेरा प्रणाम पहुंचे. जहां तक मेरे परिचय की बात है तो deliberately I asked my research team do not write my designation, as you can see, because I still believe that I am a part as a student of this faculty. So with this respected dignitaries on the dais, my co-presenters, particularly the chairperson Dr. Uday Shankar sir, Dr. Muhammad Sahuddin from Bangladesh, most welcome sir, you need a special welcome, and Dr. Raju Maji sir, Dr. Amreen Kumar Raji sir, and of course my lovely senior and the mentor Manvin sir, and in the August gathering presenting a lot of my teachers. See, and I hope that I will be at least get 15 minutes that's allotted to me, and being a last speaker that justice will be done with me. And let me admit to you very frankly that this is the revised presentation which I have done, I think, year back at the National University of Singapore, interacting with the students. Fortunately, I was there for an IPR event. So this presentation, actually this was the topic which I taken, ki globalization. Of course, now the real credit goes to my research team who has revised this for today's presentation. And let me come to the presentation. Before I begin the presentation, I will leave you with certain things, because for me globalization is a different thing and internalization is a different thing. And if I could understand to the extent with my legal capacity that many of the previous speakers are comparing internalization of the legal education with the globalization. Means what is my understanding I will be sharing with you. But before that, you please thought up certain things, because I am going to tell you what is the globalized model of America, that is USA, what is the globalization for the British model, and what is the sui generis system, if at all we could develop the Indian model of globalization in the legal education. And let us begin with this motto of the Banaras Hindu University, the law school, Dharmo Vishwasya Jagat Pratishtha, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Very recently we have met this globalized notion, and thankful to our Honorable Prime Minister that entire G20 countries, we have given them a slogan that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Udar Charitanantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, I am Nija Paresam, Karamachala Duksetsam. Now coming back to the many of the BHU students, they might be remember, if you have opened your diary, there is a slogan on which Mahamana believed very much, Na to ham kamaye rajyam na swargam na punarbhavam, kamaye duktaptanam pradina vartinasana. Again, sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, mataschit dukhbhag bhavet. There is a reason why I am reciting these slogans. I will come at the end. By the time you just think of what's the correlation between globalization and these mantras. And at the end of the beginning, I will try my level best to establish the connection with these notions. Now coming to the today's topic and my presentation. Before I begin with, I will try to start and pick up with the Uday sir. Sir, you said that the National Law University's movement was, in a way, the one objective was to globalization of the legal education. Sir, to the limited understanding of mine, I would like to defer to me, because that's what, in fact, let me tell you what is the inputs which I received Professor Rajkumar, the scholar who has worked from India on the globalization of the education, then Mr. Anand Kumar Misra, and two American scholars who visited Delhi University 3 years back for the trade law conference, their inputs, and that is why originally I prepared this, that what is globalization means really for legal education and the institutional excellence. So it was basically the Jindal Global Law School, not only in India, if you will look across the Asia, the another school is the National University of Singapore. Those they officially claim themselves as the Global Law School. So, means the 1BU is, sir, I may be wrong or like you may correct me, 1BU is this National Law Universities were open with the objective that to meet with the international standards of the legal education. And it's globalization, the challenges of the globalization is altogether a different level, because we are going to be, we open the market, so globalization has the glitches over each and everything. So is with the legal education, so is with the existing legal market. So we need to understand somewhere what is the thin line of difference between reaching to the international standards and the challenges that is posed by the globalization, particularly into the field of legal education and institutional excellence in India, particularly because my perspective is the Indian perspective here now. So this is one thing, and then the another point which I will try to pick up, you said that the for globalization we need the public funding. That's what if I could correctly understood. Let me tell you that the institution in which we are sitting, this is the perfect and only model. I have no hesitation, let me tell you. This is the perfect and the only model, biggest model which is on the public funding university. Otherwise, if you will find the maximum university, either they are, and in fact, it's a Mahamana who established very frankly that the educational institutions can be established even without the state fundings or by any support. So public funding, we all know that story. So I think, sir, this is the perfect example, Banaras Hindu University. If at all we are going to establish a global law school with the public funding. That is one thing. Now coming to my own presentation, see, since my time is very limited and I hope I will be remaining 12 minutes more. Sir. Chair, sir. Yes. So within this 12 minutes, what I am going to be cover, kindly move on the,
Sir, you
yes.
from where I will do that.
So, see, the globalization of a legal education and institutional excellence of law schools in India with a critical perspective, that's what my research team has indicated to me. See, as you can see, I think the slide is not moving. Please move on the slide. Yes. So the globalization is transforming the legal profession, creating new demands for the legal professionals with a wider range of skills and knowledge. Law schools in India are facing the challenges of adapting to this changing landscape with maintaining their traditional strength. So this research article, we have written an article also, so we are presenting that. See, try to understand that the globalization grip. The legal landscape in India is undergoing on a transformed fueled by globalization. Increased interconnectedness demand lawyers equipped with the international legal issues, diverse legal system and specialized expertise. Now the stand is shifting, and how it is shifting, this dynamic shift present both challenges and opportunities. Indian law schools, kindly move on to the, yes. So the Indian law schools must critically re-evaluate their approaches to the ensure institutional excellence in this evolving context. What's the critical lens? Why I said that this is a critical analysis or approach. So our research paper, ours means we are a research team, we are in fact seriously working on this also, another paper. So takes a critical perspective, examining how law schools are responding to the globalization. We access the effectiveness of the current approaches and identity areas of the improvement. Now the focus area of the presentation would be how law schools are incorporating international dimensions into their curriculum and pedagogy. the challenges and opportunities associated with achieving institutional excellence in a globalized and legal market, and the effectiveness of the current efforts to prepare students for the demand of globalized legal practice. Mind it, it's a globalized legal practice. So I again remind you that it's not the international standard, it's the globalized legal practice. So what's the significance? If I talk to you, this research holds the law schools seeking to adapt and thrive globalized legal landscape, policy making striving to enhance the quality and accessibility of the legal education in India, aspiring lawyers eager to understand the evolving legal landscape and equip themselves for success. I am not rightly reading, and please try to understand because the time limitations, I have already been indicated that I have a limited time. Otherwise, I can take more than 5 minutes on each explanation. So I hope all of you will be cooperating. And then, now the changing dynamics of the legal education. What dynamics are changing in the legal educational field? To my understanding, my research team's understanding, the international context, the international legal education lands. I will be talking to you the challenges in the international context as well as the Indian context as on the same headings. So, international collaborations, curriculum transformation, student exchange program, technology integration, and of course area. Because let me tell you why I mentioned area. So far, though DIAC we have, Delhi International Arbitration Center, and I think in the recent ADR Act, we have the India International Arbitration System, which is yet to become in the existence. And it's all about why, because we have SIAR, the Singapore International Arbitration, where I have been visited, and the LIAC, the London International Arbitration System. So we are trying our level best that so that we can grab this ADS, the mediation and arbitration market. We can put India as an international center for this. We are trying to be level best, but we are facing a tough competition from the Singapore. Singapore is still a favored destination for arbitration and mediation. So that's what we have to think. And now the clinical legal education. Much has been talked about this, so I will not be taking much time to. Now coming to the international collaboration, what kind of international collaboration we will be needing to that? So joint degree programs, faculty exchange, and research partnerships are flourishing. Examples we can see. The New York School of Law and Peking University Law School's joint JD program, University of Cambridge Law Faculties collaboration with the National University of Singapore Law Schools on a Masters of Law in International and Comparative Law. Let me tell you, sir, the Delhi National Law University has very recently done certain collaborations with the WTO, and they have started a program. And see, in these lines, I found Global Jindal Law School is on more headings, and that is why I differentiate between the International National Law Universities and the Global Jindal Law School on different pattern. And then the curriculum transformation, much has been talked, the global legal issues, a comparative law and transnational jurisprudence are finding their ways to the program. Examples like University of California, Berkeley Schools of Law, International Environmental Law, course, University of Oxford's Faculty of Laws and Global Governance specialization. Student exchange program, international exchange programs and postgraduate studies abroad are witnessing a surge. Examples we can say the joint master's degree in international legal studies, provide foreign student scholarship program also. The international ranking, QS ranking, no, so far no one has talked about it, I think so. And in fact, this is what when I approached to the even on my university center, an institute of eminence. So the director itself was very much worried that even Delhi University is known worldwide, but we have less publications in the law department, and we are facing so far as the scopus and Indian standards are concerning, and he has no hesitation to say no legal institution are in respectable position into the QR ranking. So what is the reason he was trying to know, and I was answerless, and I hope in future I will be able to answer this. So Indian context I am coming, and I have said still in 7 minutes, I have about 7 to 8 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes, anyway. So growth of collaborations with the foreign university for joint programs, student exchange and faculty exchange. Just a minute. Yes. So what international collaborations we need in Indian context? So joint programs as compared to what I have already earlier mentioned, faculty exchange we have to start, and renowned scholars from abroad as a guest faculty, enhancing teaching and research, NLSUI Bangalore, let me mention National Law University has hosted professor from Columbia Law School and University of Pennsylvania Law School. Student exchange program, Professor L. Pushkumar sir was sitting here. He has done a wonderful work in Delhi University, inviting Cornell Law Schools and many other law schools. And very recently we have invited the reputed law university from French as a delegation. So Delhi University is also, let me specifically mention, my parent institution. So student exchange program, see, international exposure is fostering through the program like Nalsar University of Law exchange with University of California, Berkeley School of Law and University of Oxford Law faculty. Potential benefits which enhance faculty quality, research collaboration, international exposure for the students. Potential concerns like homogenization of curriculum, neglect of local schools, accessibility of underprivileged students. Now, curriculum transformation. I have a very limited things to say on this topic. Much serious scholars are present here. So, the global legal issues, course on international law, competitive law, transnational jurisprudence, as I already mentioned, finding their ways to the program. Examples include like National Law University Delhi started international environmental law and NSF, National Forensic University Gujarat cyber law and cyber crime investigation. Technology integration, platforms like Corsa are used for interactive learning as seen in Symbiosis Law School, access to the e-library. Then alternative dispute resolution system, focus on ADR mechanism like mediation and arbitration, increasing exemplified. The Gujarat National Law University has worked a lot. They have started a particular program. The National Law University Delhi's International Environmental Law course, which I have already mentioned, and then Jodhpur has also started international trade law. Then potential benefits, preparing graduates for global legal careers, curriculum relevance. Potential concern could be the neglect of core Indian legal subjects, disconnect with the domestic legal practices needs. So this could be our core concern, how to accommodate this. Now, I must talk about the student exchange program. So outward mobility. See, Indian law students are participating in the exchange programs and pursuing postgraduate study abroad. And let me tell you, either in Banaras Hindu University or in Delhi University, if you will find there is n number of programs, student exchange program in other disciplines, I think we still lack, or even maybe one or two student exchange program. So there we need to work, and the National Law University are, of course, they are trying their level. So inward mobility, international students are attracted to Indian law schools, offering cultural exchange and diverse perspective. Jindal Global Law School witnessing increased international students enrollment. And yes, we need to think also that how many international enrollments we are. Talking to the Delhi University, I don't know the present status of Banaras Law School, but we have specifically drafted a code called AMCL that was basically the master program for the foreign students. And we have a separate hostel. Nowadays, because of the less enrollments of the foreign students, we are now put on silent mode, but very soon I think with our able leadership of our popular Vice Chancellor, we will be resuming very soon. I already mentioned about this potential benefits, because since the technology integration, here I want to talk to you, the online platforms, university use platforms like Corsa, interactive learning and all, simulation and interactive tools we have to be used like technology fostering and all. I want to serious this alternative dispute area I already talked to you in international context, so same will be repeating. Then clinical legal education must has been talked, and we know this international the integration of clinical legal program to provide practical experiences. Examples can be the NUJS Kolkata's legal aid clinic addressing needs of marginalized community. Potential, and let me tell you, Law Center once national the Gujarat National Law University, they have also done a very considerable work on this legal aid. So this could be these things could be mentioned. See, the challenges and opportunity, that is what we, because since time is running very fast, so here I want to talk to you what the challenges and opportunities we are in this globalization. So while India these changing dynamics, navigating the effective requires addressing crucial challenges. Accessibility, first challenge is high cost of international collaboration, and programs can exacerbate existing inequality, making it crucial to explore scholarship and financial aid options, balancing local and global. So finding balance between preparing graduates for the globalized legal market and equipping with the skill and knowledge effectively navigate their local legal system, that will be really crucial. Social justice, integrated CLE programs, effective in addressing pressing social issues within India is crucial to foster a sense of social and responsibility among law graduates. Critical adaptation of uncritical adaptation of global models without considering the Indian context can harm excellence. So when we are accepting, see what the famous saying, take the best of the West, not the worst of the best. So when we are adapting in Indian context, we need to think if something is really suitable for us, we should adopt. Otherwise, it's not all and sundry. Let everything become from the best is good. So let's out of, and that's what I think for me the Indianization means. Very soon, so I am summing up. So maintaining ethical standards, uniquely Indian dynamics, which I was really talking about because of the, we need to think this also, the high competition and limited seats, focus on the theoretical knowledge, we must focus, that's what to also we try to understand, there is a big gap between what we practice in the court and what we teach in the classrooms. So my students, they might be experiencing, they are going for the internship. So there we also need to think on social justice and pro bono works, and the ranking obsession. The ranking obsession I particularly and deliberately used. So there also we have to be, then financial disparities, the traditional universities, we have limitations of the fund, we don't have that much fund the national law universities have, or like the global universities, so that's another limitation. Before planning any seminar, workshop or student exchange program, we have to think a lot. And new challenges that is coming into the skill mismatch. Examples can be 2030, there was a survey by a bar and bench, relieved that 27% of Indian law graduates feels very prepared for the legal job market, highlighting their skills gap. Limited international exposure is the another thing which we have, while globalization demand a global perspective, access to international collaborations. NSI Bangalore's example could be given. Unique accessibility, the high cost of legal education in India. Example, the high LLM and fees we can think. Someone is talking that why we are not talking about the CLAT examination fees or the National Law University fees. And for that matter, even Delhi University also has started the 5-year program, and Puspa sir as a director is here. So I think the fees is also one particular point where we think relevance of local context. So while embarrassing global trends in crucial, neglecting core Indian legal subjects and local legal challenges can hinder graduates effectively in domestic perspective. Examples can be the over-emphasis of international citations, might not be. Moving forward, focus on skill development, bribe the access gap, embrace the technology, maintain local relevance, promote social justice, Bar Council of India reforms. Amnen sir was talking about the Bar Council of India reform. So I do agree with that suggestion, sir, but in a particular sense and context. And then process of reform, focus on contemporary legal issues like cyber law, IPR and blah blah blah. Platform like Corsa and simulation can be used. Program like legal and clinics. Partnership like OP Jindal Global Law Schools, joint program with Harvard Law Schools, exposure and faculty exchange program. Some institutions are fostering essential skills. National Law Universities, of course, they could be developed as a center of excellence as a global law school. Resistance to reform is also coming. So there is a time is listed, transnationalism, resource. So don't think that if there will be a reform, there will be resistance also. So we need to ponder also on the faculty development, regulatory burdens. Impact on law, lawyers and legal academia will be much on that. Since my time is very limited, so I think I should come on to the conclusion. Though I was billing, a lot of things has been need to share, but very quickly I am coming to the best practices. So context matter. So there is no one size fit all situation as a best practice, must be adapted to each country's legal system, social context and educational infrastructure. Holistic approach beyond technical skills, balancing theory and practice, embrace technology, international exposure, fostering the social justice, and then finally conclusion. The globalization of legal education present both opportunity and challenges for Indian law schools. While embracing the international collaboration and exposure is valuable, it is crucial to do so critically ensuring that institutional excellence remains grounded in the needs and realities of the Indian legal system and society. Law schools must strive for a balanced approach that fosters international engagements while preserving local context and promoting inclusivity. Ultimately, the pursuit of excellence should translate into producing ethically sound, locally competent, and globally aware lawyers who can contribute meaningfully to the Indian legal landscape and beyond. Thank you all for kind and patient hearing, and let me connect at the end of my presentation, where I have leave to you with those slogans, the mantra and slokas, whatever you want, you can use, but the actual term is the slokas. See, I told you, whatever, even the globalized pattern, the way they are batting it, WTO is there, multiple things are there, but so far as the globalization model are concerned, you can say the present globalization model, either in economics, law, or any field, that's basically a more tilted towards the US model. Earlier there was a British model. You might have been heard Pandit Nehru going to the Oxford and London for doing this study, and many good scholars went there. Why that time these scholars not coming in India? Can we develop a sui generis Indian global model? The very recently we have established Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam as a principle of global standard. Likewise, can we be develop as a context in our jurisprudence, in our text, certain Indian principles which could be relatively relevant in the global standard, which could be taught in USA law school, in American law school, and where we can claim that this is something origin. So we need to think. With this observation, I will leave you here. I am open to question and answer, and thank you all once again. And I am really thankful for such a brainstorming session, and particularly the organizer for inviting me. Thank you all. That's all. I end here.